Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. Here I am after seeing the movie Freelance, the most mediocre movie that I've seen in a long time. It's John Cena, Allison Brie, Juan Pablo Raba, and Christian Slater. And basically the premise of this story is Allison Brie is a journalist who has sort of been through a controversy, something about her sources. They never really get too deep into that. And spoiler alert, they don't get too deep into anything in this movie. So she's going to interview dictator of a small South American country, Poldonia, who's the dictator's played by Juan Pablo Raba. And I don't remember the actual Vergini or something like that. I can't remember the name of the dictator, but John Cena is brought in to be her bodyguard, and he's ex-special forces who's kind of like, he can't deal with his life now because he feels like he has no purpose, even though he's a lawyer and he has a beautiful wife and a big old house and a wonderful little girl. He just feels like he's unfulfilled. So of course then the wife is ready to leave him or ask him to leave. She needs a separation because he isn't prioritizing them or something. It's the same kind of crap we've heard over and over again. There's actually a movie just recently, I think the same sort of thing, the Liam Neeson movie, where we're brought in toward the end of this, and they do a little bit of build up, trying to establish why John Cena feels this way, how he got to this point. But it's really inconsequential. It just kind of gets forgotten about as the movie progresses. The one thing that does keep coming up is when John Cena's force went in to assassinate. This is what happened. They went in to assassinate the dictator, and their copter was shot down, and everyone died except for him. But then it also turns out that they didn't all die because Christian Slater is there, and he's now running this paramilitary security force. How that all happens and how they're like 10 miles or 10 minutes from each other, I don't know. None of that really makes sense. But anyway, so we have to create some drama. We have to create some tension. So John Cena goes down to protect Allison Brie, who seems relatively clueless. I don't know why she's wearing this pantsuit to go to this country. And they fly on a private plane, I guess, because she's also famous. And they try to set her up as sort of a bitch, but then she's not really. I don't know. It's really strange. I think the best part about it is John Cena plays this character who's kind of figuring out that things aren't quite what they seem, and maybe things kind of suck. Like this whole situation that he's got himself into sucks. And I thought it was funny because that's kind of how John Cena plays it. As he's going through this movie, he's realizing, hell, this movie isn't very good, and I really can't be asked to do much. And that's most of them, other than Raba, who puts in a pretty good performance, is, I guess, the comic relief of this movie. Most of the rest of the characters feel like they're just kind of there and collecting paychecks and going from one event to another. It feels like nobody in this movie really cared or really tried. There's a scene where they, of course, they go down there and everything goes wrong, and the motorcade with the president, El Presidente, gets attacked, and there's rebels, but then they're not really rebels, and then it's all, there's a lot of things going on, and none of it really matters because of course, just like in standard Arnold Schwarzenegger fashion, John Cena, pulls out one gun and kills all of the bad guys that may not actually be bad guys. Maybe they're just rebel freedom fighter troops. And we're never sure, even though we know that the dictator is a bad guy and has done some horrible things, they don't really establish what sort of horrible things and how we should really care whether he lives or dies, because that's the whole premise is John Cena going to just kill this guy and then just be able to go back? But they don't really establish that to any degree that is meaningful. And the gunfights in this, so after they're ambushed on the bridge and they go traipsing through the jungle, and I'm actually thinking back, there's a movie, I think it was about 20 years ago, called The Rundown, Dwayne Johnson and Seann William Scott, which had no right to be any good, but I actually quite enjoyed that movie. So for most of this movie, I was thinking that's just what this is going to be, but maybe it'll be actually kind of fun. But I found that I just as it's going through, I'm like, I don't want to like this movie. There's a lot of stale jokes. So anyways, they're running, and I'm going off on a tangent here. So they're running, and they're being chased by literal gunship, right? There's a helicopter with Gatling guns and missiles, and just firing like through, miles of jungle, and can't hit Allison Brie and John Cena. Like, why? And there's soldiers, like trained military soldiers, chasing them down. They can't get them either. It just doesn't really, it doesn't hold up. There's no real weight. Toward the end of this film, there is a long sequence, like a gunfight that is supposed to be the big dynamic climax. But it literally, to me, it felt like when me and my brothers were kids and we'd be in the living room with our toy guns or just our fingers and bam, 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 I hate you, I hate you. No, suppressing fire. And we're all just making shit up. And that's what it felt like. It was like, they're shooting at each other, but nobody can hit. They've all got stormtrooper-itis, except for John Cena when he finally decides, like, all right, I'm going to do this, and he pulls out a AK-47 or M16, whatever the rifle was, and he just like from the hip and kills everybody, and it's just so ridiculous. I want to say maybe there was chemistry between Cena and Brie. There's a weird scene where he's kind of trying to seduce her, or no, I'm sorry, she's trying to seduce him. Of course, he's still in love with his wife, and I don't know where that was all going. And that's just like so much. It felt like it could have gone somewhere, but it ended up not going anywhere. It's the most mediocre film, as I think I said already, the most mediocre film I've seen in a long time. It's forgettable. You're going to watch this movie, and then in a year, 2 years, you're going to be like, wait, wasn't there a movie that I saw with John Cena and something about a dictator? Because it's totally forgettable, and that's fine. I mean, look, this is October, right? Everybody's looking for the horror movies. So, yeah, see it, stream it, skip it. Don't see it. If you got a free night and it's on a service, it's not going to kill your evening. But my bottom line, I would say skip it. I don't think that this is really worth it. This is just not, it's not that good. So there we are. Thanks guys. I will see you after the next movie.